What we hear here politically is that Prime Minister Netanyahu is absolutely determined to pursue this course of action. He seems completely immune to the diplomatic condemnation that Israel is suffering, even the diplomatic isolation, and to the anger of the people of Israel, 80% of whom, again, poll after poll shows, do not support continuing, much less expanding this war. But he seems determined, and he appears, we're hearing also, to have persuaded President Trump to follow this course by telling him that it would be a quick and merciless assault on the city of Gaza. However, what we're seeing on the ground is a different story. For now, the Israeli army has absolutely not yet embarked on a complete assault on the city. What we're seeing, in a way, is what you described, heightened military efforts to persuade Gazans to leave the city of Gaza. Many of them, by the way, are not native Gazans, but in terms of Gaza City, but residents of the enclave of Gaza who found refuge in the city of Gaza and have already been moved around, in some cases a dozen times, made internal refugees by this war. We hear the same numbers of around 450,000 Gazans having left the city from the Israeli army. We've heard the same numbers for the course of a whole week. Obviously, these are unverifiable numbers, but it's difficult to take them seriously, unfortunately, when we see that thousands of people continue to leave Gaza, and yet the numbers that Israel's publishing haven't shifted.
Yeah, let me ask you something else.
There
Noga.
are other questions. Yes.
Let me raise that with you. Just one question that I have, and there's been some questions, a lot of France 24 viewers emailing this actually as well, because something that's got lost within the Trump state visit to the UK is an apparent Tony Blair plan for Gaza that Trump reportedly has given agreement to. This is a the day after plan for Gaza. Tell us more about what is known about that and what kind of detail is coming out so far.
Well, I share the questions of all our viewers regarding this. There was one single report that came out, actually, as you said, during the time that Donald Trump was in the UK and held that press conference with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. We have not heard anything official here. And again, we have not heard any reaction from the Israeli government. The reason that Tony Blair's involvement could be significant is that he has attempted, using his institution behind the scenes, to influence, to try and shape a post-war Gaza since the start of the war. And he is an unimpeachable presence in this region. In other words, if Donald Trump, in fact, does follow through and in some way hands over to former Prime Minister Blair the role of managing for the Western world a post-war Gaza, it would be very, very difficult for Prime Minister Netanyahu to reject that and to say no, that Tony Blair is an unacceptable figure, the way Netanyahu has said about others suggested by the Americans and by the Arab world.